Hello everyone, I'm FMZ and welcome to another episode of Squad Overview, this time with Tottenham Hotspur. Lots of problems to sort out at the Spurs, so we'll take a look at what you need, what you have, and a few of the youngsters that are coming through that you might want to keep an eye on. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this content, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Don't forget to click that notification bell to know when a new video goes up on the channel, and also don't forget to leave me a comment or a suggestion for a team you'd like me to take a look at. Let's dive in, shall we? So it's worth mentioning before we begin, this is the FM21 database, but we've updated it to the end of the transfer window. So these are the players that will start Football Manager 2022 with. And we start with the goalkeepers. Hugo Lorries is in the last year of his contract. Obviously Spurs brought in Pierluigi Gallini to essentially take his place next summer. But I think he's worth another season if you can give it to him. And then signing Gallini as well and keeping that transition period. Because Gallini is a great goalkeeper in his own right. Hugo Lorries is a superb goalkeeper, probably in the top 5 in the Premier League for shot stopping. Maybe not for his kicking, but two very good goalkeepers there for you. Obviously you've got some young goalkeepers, Alfie Whiteman and Brandon Austin. You might look to bring in a third keeper because obviously Spurs are playing in 4 competitions. Obviously the Conference League being a big part of that. So you might look to rotate and using a second or a third choice goalkeeper in that competition, particularly Gallini, getting him used to life in England. That would certainly be a good suggestion to play him in the cup competitions as well. Moving on to right back, you've got 3 decent options at right back. You've got Japhet Tanganga, Emerson Royale and Matt Doherty. 3 very good right backs. Obviously Tanganga can play centre half as well. We'll take a look at that in a little while. Few youngsters coming through. Brooklyn Lions Foster is a good prospect coming through. TJ Emyo is also a good prospect coming through. Spurs do have a very good academy, and we'll see later some of the players that are coming through within that academy. On to the left-hand side of the defence, you've got 3 options again here for starters at least. Ben Davies, Ryan Sessegnon and Sergio Reguilon. Davies and Reguilon will probably be the 2 that you'll select from at the left-back position. You might even look to play 3 centre-halves and move Ben Davies across to play as that third centre-back if you want to. Ryan Sessegnon, I imagine he's going to probably be better further forward for you, although he can play as a full-back. So yeah, 3 very good options on the left-hand side as well. It's a centre-back. You may look to bring someone in. Obviously, Spurs brought in Christian Romero in the summer. Joe Rodon is another good option there. Davinson Sanchez and Eric Dyer are the other 2 that can play there along with Japhet Tanganga. So you've got 5 decent centre-halves. They're not outstanding centre-halves. I think that's the only problem with this Spurs side in the centre-back area. So you might look to go out and bring in another centre-back and maybe let one of them go. Davinson Sanchez, Eric Dyer maybe. I'd keep Joe Rodon. I like Joe Rodon personally. He's a very good defender. Obviously, as I mentioned already with Ben Davies, you have the option to play that back 3 if you want to as well. So there are a few configurations you can play this Tottenham defence with. But if you're looking to play what Spurs have been playing so far this season with a 4-3-3, then you're probably going to need a player that's going to sit a little bit deeper. This is where we are at the moment. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg is probably the prime candidate for that position. Harry Winks can play there as well as Oliver Skipp. Harvey White is one of the good players coming through. Tanguy Ndombele will probably be better further forward, as will Giovanni Lo Celso. Pape Matar Sarr is another one you'll get in the second season. He went back on loan to Metz for the season, but he is a very shining light in France at the moment. So yeah, a few prospects at the defensive midfield position. Moving out to the right-hand side, there are a few options here. Obviously, you've got Son, but he'll play further up the pitch, I'm sure. Steven Bergwijn, Jack Clark, Lucas Moura, Dylan Markanda is a good prospect coming through. Marcel Lavinia is another good one. He can play quite a lot of positions in the defence and the midfield area. So yeah, good prospects on this right-hand side of midfield in particular. Few options for the left-hand side. We haven't mentioned Bryan Gil yet, so let's get that out of the way. But I think you're probably going to play either a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3 or potentially 5 at the back, as I mentioned earlier on. The Bryan Gil will certainly play further forward out of that. But yeah, again, some good options, but the squad probably does need a little bit more within it. Moving into the central position, so we've mentioned a few of these already. We'll mention a couple more. So Niall John is a good prospect coming through the academy. They've got high hopes for him at Tottenham. We haven't mentioned Dele Alli yet. He can play in centre midfield, but I would stick to his fashioned position, which is behind the striker. That's where Dele Alli is his most potent. Obviously, they've started to try and play him in that midfield three. It's not really working out at the moment. He's, as I say, more deadly further forward. It's probably in the attacking midfield area that you'll probably look to strengthen the most. Obviously, I've mentioned Dele Alli playing further forward. That would be the best thing for him. Obviously, Giovanni Lo Celso can play that role behind the striker, as can Tanguy Ndombele, but I think he'd be better off further back. So just a couple of options. So I'd definitely go out and buy someone who can play in that cam position, someone who can create chances for Harry Kane and for Son and for Bergwijn and for Lucas Moura, because that's really something that Tottenham are missing from the current squad. As is a backup striker, obviously you have Harry Kane at the top of the pitch, probably the best striker in the Premier League, or arguably the best striker in the Premier League. So you've got Son, who can play down the centre, but he's far more potent out wide, as we've seen in the last few Premier League seasons. So a second striker is a must for you. Obviously, Troy Parrott is one that they have high hopes for at Tottenham. He is currently out on loan. You'll get him second season, and I think he might be ready for Premier League action by that point. But yeah, certainly a stopgap striker is definitely a must for Tottenham. So there we go. There is the overview of the Tottenham Hotspur squad. A few things for you to take care of before you start your Premier League journey. Can you get Tottenham back in the Champions League? That will be the biggest thing, I think, first season. It's going to be very, very tough. There are some good sides in this Premier League, some good squads in this Premier League, so you're going to need to do a bit more surgery on this particular squad to make them Champions League ready, if you like. Don't forget, if you've enjoyed today's video, please leave a like. If you haven't subscribed to the channel and would like to do so, please click the subscribe button down in the corner. Don't forget, if you've got any comments to make or suggestions to give me for teams to take a look at, please leave them in the comments below. Also, don't forget, I'm a member of the Passion for FM team. The links to the website and Discord server are down in the description, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.